Vaclav Klaus is President of the Czech Republic and on a speaking tour of Australia. But Prime Minister Julia Gillard shamefully refuses to meet him. You see, President Klaus is not only a distinguished economist, a former Prime Minister and now a head of state, he's also a sceptic and has written a bestseller, this very great book, Blue Planet in Green Shackles, warning against the global warming hysteria. President Klaus, thank you for joining us. Why do you so frighten our Prime Minister?
Well, I am surprised that she's frightened. I met her last year in Brussels at an EU-Asia summit, and I gave her my book, and we had a very, very pleasant conversation, so I'm surprised that she's afraid of my views.
But there has been a real reluctance to engage, for politicians to engage with sceptics such as yourself. What is this fear, do you think?
First, I don't like the term skeptic because it's already a labeling, and simply I am a scientist and economist who studies evidence, who tries to understand all the scientific hypotheses behind the whole issue, and I am not convinced about it. So it's not skepticism as an individual attitude, and when we call it skepticism, it means already something. So I simply don't see any evidence about a dangerous global warming, and especially about a dangerous man-made global warming. And in this respect, I am not alone, and I know that many very serious Australian scientists are saying the same.
Well, that's true. We have spoken to distinguished scientists on this program who've also said that there's no real evidence man is heating the world, certainly not dangerously. What does that make you feel about measures then to try to stop what little warming we've seen that paused about a decade ago, things like carbon dioxide taxes?
You know, I spent most of my life in a communist era in the former Czechoslovakia, and I remember quite well, and we all remember, that one of the slogans of the day made by the Communist Party: we will dictate everything, we will rule the wind and rain. It was a slogan written in our textbooks. So when I look at people now trying to control the global climate and trying to control the temperature, it reminds me the communist nonsenses. So therefore I am motivated to speak strongly, to travel all over the world, to publish books and articles. The book you had in your hands has already 17 foreign editions in 17 languages. So I am scared by the global warming propaganda.
What do you think we're threatened by most, global warming or the sort of measures people are proposing to allegedly stop it?
Well, as you know, the subtitle of my book is What is Endangered, Climate or Freedom? And my answer is climate is okay. What is endangered? It's freedom plus, I would add, our prosperity, our living standards. That's the issue.
What is it that is the threat to freedom here? Do you see this as some sort of imposition on democracy in terms of limiting behaviour, human behaviour? What's the threat?
Again, I think that the fact that we lived so many decades under communism made us, we learned something during that era, and it made us very sensitive to all attempts to limit our freedom, to limit democracy in the name of some higher goals or ideas or values. And we are very suspicious in this respect. So I don't like to hear that there is, again, someone who wants to tell me what I should do, what I should eat, how I should behave, and so on, how to live, simply. And that's something I must say I'm very sensitive about.
President Klaus, we're very grateful to you. I think it's an important message, and welcome to Australia.
Thank you very much.
These are tense times, and we seem to be showing our leaders a dangerous lack of respect. I don't just mean this.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Dickhead.
Oh, really?
We've always had hecklers like that. But last weekend, the Prime Minister visited Victoria's Hazelwood Power Station. Now, look behind her at union official Luke van der Merlen, State President of the CFMEU's Mining and Energy Division and a former Greens candidate. Luke, what the hell was that? Once the government told us we had to stop something it called global warming. Then the warming paused. So global warming became...
Climate change. Climate change.
Climate change can mean any freak of weather, like the drought. But the drought ended, so global warming became...
Carbon pricing. Pricing carbon.
The word carbon suggests the government is really getting rid of dirty soot rather than invisible carbon dioxide. But the word pricing suggests a tax, which is making voters cross. So this week, global warming became...
Clean energy future. Clean energy future.
Clean is good. And this new spin implies we'll somehow make money instead of pay a tax. Great spin. Opposition leader Tony Abbott this week went swimming in the freezing waters off Victoria's Mornington Peninsula. And at his press conference afterwards said he'd been asked by a woman about his famous budgie smugglers.
And she said, could you do me a favour? Could you do me a favour? She said, I said, sure. She said, get some smaller ones. Well, I've got to say, coming out of that water, I have smaller ones. I really do.
No comment. And that's the show. Send me an email here at 10 or check out my blog. Tomorrow, the big question is, will the people swap deal the government is finally signing with Malaysia tomorrow leave the boat people we send back so much better off that they won't be scared to try their luck by coming here? Stay with us. Meet the Press is next with Hugh Riminton. I'm Andrew Bolt, and I look forward to your company at the same time next week. And it's goodbye.